Next week, we'll be discussing Nashville. Tom, how was your watch?
I saw this movie, I think initially in 2005. I saw it with a professor that actually Pat has taken a few classes with. And I really loved it then. And I actually don't believe I've seen it since then. So it's been almost 20 years since I've seen this movie. And I had a great time. I think a better time than when I initially watched it. When I initially watched it, it was one of those doing shows and watching the movie at 1 a.m. and realizing it was almost 3 hours long and being really mad because I wanted to go to bed but couldn't because of this damn assignment. And so I don't think I really got much out of it in the first viewing, but I had a wonderful second viewing and third viewing this week. I love this movie. I think my favorite Altman film was McCabe and Mrs. Miller, and I think now after watching this, this is my favorite. I think there's literally not one scene in this that I didn't enjoy completely. Pat, how was your first view?
So yeah, as Tom mentioned, I took a bunch of classes with a professor in college and I think he loves Nashville, and he loves Altman in general. I know he loves Nashville. So I've heard him talk about it, and I've seen when I took a class with him, we watched Gosford Park, which is also Altman, and then I watched for that class I was going to write a paper on Altman, and I watched Prairie Home Companion, which is not very good. So I figured it's a bad idea to write a paper on a bad movie. So I didn't. I didn't do it. That's the only experience I have with Altman. And yeah, kind of Nashville has just been a movie that I've known is out there, but I've never actually watched it. So like Tom, I went to go watch it. But like Tom in college, I was going to start it at 5 a.m. this morning and get up early to watch it. And then I saw that how long it was and set my alarm clock for an hour earlier so I could finish it before the kids woke up. So yeah, it's a very long movie, but I agree with Tom. I really liked this movie. I agree. I don't think there was a single scene that I disliked. I really enjoyed the film. I had a lot of fun with it. Andy, what about you?
Well, I had not seen it before. And I don't think I've seen, I was just checking, I don't think I've seen any other Robert Altman movies. So I'm definitely a novice in the Altman territory. And I would say that I didn't like this movie almost at all. And I didn't like it because I didn't think I was getting it. Like there was something that I was missing. So I'm looking forward to this discussion to fill in the reasons why I might enjoy it on the second viewing. Um, but I mostly spent the movie wondering why they made it. But I'm excited for the discussion. Nick?
Similar to Andy, I think I'm more in his camp than I am Tom and Pat. This movie was just not made for me. I don't think it was necessarily a bad film. It's just not a film that really grabbed me. And I get, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more, that it's more about the scenes versus the characters that go in and out of the scenes. But it was just very long. And it probably didn't help that I'm not very big into country music too. So it just wasn't for me. I mean, and again, there's movies that I'll say like were horrible. I think I give them a lot of credit for weaving everything in and out and actually like orchestrating the whole thing. But it just was not a movie I would watch again. Let's just put it that way. And I think we're going to have a really fun episode next week, especially when there's varying viewpoints.